If you've been learning Python, you've probably seen the import keyword before. But did you know there are actually multiple ways to import libraries, and each one changes how you write your code? So today I'm going to show you 5 different ways to import libraries in Python. So let's start with the most common way, just a simple import. So here we will be writing the import keyword and then the module name that we want to import. So in this line, I'm telling Python to load the math module for me. Now this will import the entire math module. The math module is built into Python and it contains tons of math-related functions like square root, sine, cosine, and so on. Now once you import it, you access functions with the module name in front. So if I write math.squareRoot function and inside it pass 16 as the parameter, then on running the program you can see we are getting the square root of 16 as the output. Now here's the key thing. Because we imported the entire module, we have to write math dot every time I call one of its functions. So let's try another one. Now if I write math.py, then you can see that we are getting the exact value of pi as the output. Now this style is very clear. You always know exactly which module a function is coming from, because you have to prefix it with the module name. Now the next method to import a module is by using the alias name. Now let's say the module name is really long. Or maybe it's a library you use all the time and you don't want to keep typing it. And that's where an alias comes in. So here I will be using the import keyword followed by the module name and then the as keyword followed by the alias name. So here I'm importing the numpy library, but I'm renaming it to np. Now I can use np everywhere instead of writing numpy. So let's create a simple numpy array. Here we will write np.array and then we pass the value of our array. So now as we run the program, you can see we get the numpy array as the output. Now this is a very common convention that every programmer uses. Like numpy is almost always imported as np and pandas as pd, although you can choose any alias name as you want. So this style is great when the module name is long or when you're following a community convention. Now the next way to import the module is by importing a specific function. Now sometimes you don't want the whole module. Maybe you only need one function. So you can import just that function directly. So here we will be using the from keyword followed by the module name, and then the import keyword followed by the square root function. Here I'm importing only the square root function from the math module. And now to use it, I will write a square root function and pass an integer. Now if you notice here, I didn't write math.squareRoot. Instead, I directly called the square root function. So if we run the program now, you can see that it works as expected. This style makes your code cleaner if you only need a few functions from a library. It also makes your code a little bit faster to type. But what if you need a couple of functions, but not the entire module? So here you can import multiple functions in one line. So I will write from math, import, and then I will write all the functions that I want to import. Now I can use all 3 functions directly. So if I print the value of sine 0, cos 0, and tan 0, then you can see we're getting the value of sine, cos, and tan as the output. And now the last way to import the module is by importing everything, also known as a wildcard import. Now this imports everything from the module. So we will write from math, import, asterisk, or star. But now you may ask, what's the difference between the very first approach where we were importing the entire module and this wildcard import? Well, in the first approach, to use any function, we had to use the module name also. But in the case of wildcard import, we can directly use any function from the module. So now I can directly use the square root and pi function from the math module. So now if we run the program, then you can see it's worked as expected. And that's it. Now you know 5 different ways to import libraries in Python. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.